Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a terrific matchup on tap between the Atlanta Falcons and the San Francisco 49ers. With that, let's get you out to Silicon Valley.
From the host to Super Bowl 50 back in February of 2016, there's a look at the home of the 49ers, Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the Atlanta Falcons and the San Francisco 49ers. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. They will be led out by the second overall pick back in 2016. Hard to believe he's already in his fourth season, Carson Wentz.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
One touchdown, one pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe he leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or two free.
Wentz now on first down. Wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's second down. This offense has a lot to account for, but at the top of the defense's list is OBJ.
I'm not sure how you really game plan for him because no matter what you do, he finds a way to uncover himself downfield. And the speed gets it from his mom, a former sprinter at LSU.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw is Wentz. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. We'll look now at the defensive starting lineup for the 49ers. They played well against the pass, currently ranked 7th in the NFL.
This secondary has really developed into one of the strengths of this team. They diagnose, they cover, they run, they hit. What a nice team.
So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. Shotgun now for Wentz. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Von Miller, he continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job trying to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it. But it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Let's go, tight end. Let's go right here now.
And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down.
I think Cameron Hayward's ability to take on blocks, hold the point of attack, and get upfield serves him very, very well. What a nice play there.
Yeah, he can take on blocks because he's built like a block.
Let's go.
Now this time he'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. You know, in our research packet this week, prepping for the game, so many articles from the local beat writer about the offensive struggles of this team and what will they do this offseason. What do you think they'll do?
Well, number one, they'll turn to their self-scouting report. And every team that's any good does this. They have outside groups. Check out their team, scout them, and tell you who can play, who can't play, and reasons why. Some of it may just be health. They have to get some guys healthy and back out on the field. But overall, evaluate this squad and make the changes that you need to.
And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
A look at Kerryon Johnson, second-year man out of Auburn. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. A couple of first downs, has the football positioned at the 43 as they come up 1st and 10. LaShawn McCoy, the 31-year-old running back, his first carry. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down, Johnson. Just a gain of a yard there, now it'll be 3rd down.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Now a play fake. Wentz. He'll take a shot for the end zone. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Adrian Amos with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Oh, man, Brandon, not a real good throw that time. It looked like he tried to put a little too much air under this one, and it turned into a floater. And defensively, this is a dream. He could have fair caught that one. That was way too easy.
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. This unit, they're hoping to improve against the pass because right now, Charles, number 27 in the NFL.
And I think you're going to see some changes in the offseason, whether it's through the draft, free agency, maybe even both. They definitely need some help in the secondary.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. They'll try the right side with Jones. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. 5 men in the secondary now for the Falcons on 3rd down. He'll look to throw. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it to the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football. When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
They'll keep it on the ground with McCoy this time. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
And it's third down. Here we go. 280. Pick it up.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. He needed a yard. That's what he got, and it's going to earn him a new set of downs.
61. Match, right.
Now a first down carry here from McCoy. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Yeah, that was a safety that came through and made the play, but there's no doubt in my mind he hits like a linebacker. We see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss. Now a draw play. This is McCoy. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get done.
Wentz going to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. But he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
Come on now, let's go.
No score after one on EA Sports. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. This is their 3rd drive. Right now, maybe not about points, just about getting something. They haven't gotten a first down yet in this game.
It's a mental barrier you don't think about until you go a couple of drives without getting a first down. Then all of a sudden it moves big. It gets harder and harder to actually attain that first down.
A good first down call as the screenplay gets him 9. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1.
59 mark, check, 59. Here I come.
On the counter, here's Jones. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. He'll look to throw, and he's got his receiver. That's Sammy Watkins. He'll get 17 on that one, and the Niners have a first down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Here's Jones. They'll get it inside the red zone, but only for a couple down to the 19.
Taken down at the 19-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup. It's check. At the 19-yard line.
Here's 2nd and 8. And this is caught at the 8. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a first down.
90 Wolf. 59. We ain't giving them nothing to go.
They'll try and run it in with Jones. And he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown. Ronald Jones, his 25th touchdown. Tying Emmitt Smith for the 5th most in one season. As his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. Will Lutz on for the point after. And the 49ers grab a 7-0 lead. A drive that time of 6 plays. And it's Ronald Jones that polishes it off with a touchdown run. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. And no more. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1. Now Wentz on the bootleg. And he will not be able to hang on to the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. Returnable for Grant.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
And this offense trotting back onto the field. Let's turn our attention here to Ronald Jones. It's the 2nd quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series, so those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they'll search for that patience here now. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
2nd and 2. And this is caught by Watkins. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. Touchdown, 49ers. Sammy Watkins, 76 yards. And the 49ers are able to strike quickly for 6. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Odell Beckham now marching back onto the field. A chance maybe here for them to get him more involved. They're down here on the scoreboard, and he's been very quiet.
And the silence has been deafening for his team. They don't need that at all. They need fireworks. They need explosive plays. They need him touching the football in any way possible. Maybe go to some jet sweeps. Anything to get him going.
Yeah, something to get in the ball. We'll see if they can do it.
Here we go. Back. Waiting. Watch the twist.
Wentz now on 1st down. He finds his target, Beckham. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
Following the penalty, it's Johnson. And nothing but daylight ahead. 20, 10, and he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Kerryon Johnson with touchdown number 8 on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half. They were already down 2 scores early. They needed something to try to stem that tide, and that certainly qualifies. A big play to get them in the end zone.
It qualifies indeed because, let's face it, they don't get something done on this drive, turn it back over, this game could be 88 and out the gate early.
What? 88 and out the gate?
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, listen, I used to hear my old man talking about it. Usually meant that thing's done.
Well, now that they got the touchdown, it's not 88 and out the gate. We still got a good game going ahead of us. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. The 49ers getting set to trot out there. They're starting to put some space here. You know, first quarter, they didn't look so hot offensively. This second quarter, though, they've looked really good.
They've jumped in the saddle in a big way now, and now they're in full gallop. I mean, before, kind of cantering around a little bit, right, trying to feel their way, not getting done what they wanted to. But somehow they put it together with play calling, execution, and now there's a pretty big gap.
And they'll look to make that gap even bigger here.
64, hey, Haywood.
Check out, read, slam. Check 3.
Blue draw Corkers.
They'll set up a throw. That ball caught by the former Toledo Rocket, Deontay Johnson. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 34-yard line. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the second quarter, 14-7. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
We get slap happy up here sometimes.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They'll get a dozen there, and it's a first down, 49ers.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Now a pass dumped off to his running back. It's so close. He gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them.
And across the goal line, into the end zone, touchdown 49ers. Ronald Jones, his 26th touchdown, drawing even with Marshall Faulk for the 4th most in a single season. And the Niners were able to stretch their lead. Lux with the extra point, and it's now 21-7. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it's Ronald Jones that polishes it off with a touchdown run. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Here we go.
Back onto the field comes the offense. Let's take a closer look at Kerryon Johnson. And I'm wondering if maybe they don't go away from him on this drive a little bit. He's been great, but they haven't scored a lot of points.
I think they still have to show him as a threat. Make sure he touches it a few times. But as you pointed out,
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Now Wentz. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Wentz. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts, as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number one. Here's Brian Anger now, as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Here comes Grant on the return. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They've had a very solid first half, and as we near the end of that first half, they're just looking for a little more on top of their lead right now.
And when you put together a game plan on offense, you put together what you think is going to be the best possible scenario, right? Hey, we're going to score. These are the plays that are going to do it. But you also put together your counters, meaning after they make adjustments to what you're doing, what do we have to go to next?
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Exactly. So I can't wait to see if we come out at the half, how they're going to go about doing things. Do you just keep running what you ran before, or do you go to your counters expecting those adjustments to happen?
Before that, we'll see the end here of this first half. Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. 2nd and 9 now. And he slings one that's incomplete. Johnson was the intended receiver, and that'll make it 3rd down.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. It's complete to Grant. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 18. Now the Niners going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. This quarterback now closing in on a 200-yard first half through the air. It's 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete. The all-pro linebacker Luke Kuechly right there on the coverage, stride for stride. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Here we go. Mike's 56. Mike's 56.
Ready?
2nd and 10. And he holds it in the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco. Deontay Johnson in the final seconds of the first half. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead.
That's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish, as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15. We'll start by heading out west, State Farm Stadium in Glendale. And it's the Cardinals who are out in front in that one. Pierre Garçon, a touchdown reception. From there, we'll head east all the way to the Steel City to check on the Steelers at home in Pittsburgh. And they were losers in their ball game as the visiting Buffalo Bills come in and took it to them. 31-10 was the final score. Finally, let's get out to the Bay Area. See what's happening with the Raiders at home in Oakland. And that game's all tied up as they play the visiting Jaguars. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. It's the 49ers out in front, and they will get the football first as well as we are back and started in the second half. This one fielded at the 5. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line.
Let's go! Let's go!
The 49er offense, they're coming back out onto the field, and we're going to give you a look at the playoff picture now into the weekend in the NFC. As we take a look at the playoff picture, and certainly a lot of jostling still to go in these final few weeks. For the moment, they would be a wild card team, far from locked up, but that's why this is into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Anthony Harris, and he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. They were looking for Johnson that time. They've got a pretty comfortable lead right now, but maybe a little too careless with the football that time for the rookie.
I think the key word there is comfortable. And there's two schools of thought on it. With that type of a lead, maybe you can take a few more chances because you have a cushion. Others will tell you, don't eat up the cushion with careless play. He'll learn to ride that line as he moves on in his career. Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for him. Not the start to the drive they were hoping for. That run doesn't get them much at all.
No, not at all. And that leaves him with 3rd and long, which means you got to dial up something pretty good. Think your best player with a play that he likes to run best.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
They went with the dive look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Niners will take over at the 20. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. And last time wasn't pretty. 1 play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens.
Check 56. Time to go, night, night.
Nifty move. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A big pickup of 38. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. He's got the first down here inside the 30. And down to the 27-yard line. It'll go as a first down for San Francisco on a pickup of 16. Another good carry there for the NFL's 2nd leading rusher, and we've talked on air, off air about his MVP candidacy. Make a case for him.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, blank, it doesn't matter whether he's 1st or 2nd or even 3rd in the league in rushing yardage. That's not the main deal. It's how he gets those yards and the impact he has on his ball club. 3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Out of the shotgun, it's Jones. They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop it. Now on third down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Some collective exhales over there on the sideline. A big pickup through the air on fourth down to bring up first and goal.
Well, the field goal attempt was well in hand. They had that, but they decided to go for it anyway. Extreme confidence, it looks like.
Yeah, but I bet the defense is going to remember this one, right? They kind of rubbed their nose in it. Now Jones. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. Now that sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down. Back at the 2 now. Here's second and goal. They'll try again with Jones. And the ball is out. Jones got hit and lost it. And the Falcons grab it. And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. The 30, 10, and he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. So hold the phone here, Charles. I'd kind of written him off, but after that touchdown, it's certainly a long way still to go, but stranger things have happened.
Well, when you're going to have big second-half comebacks, plays like that have to be involved.
Tavecchio good on the extra point, and that cuts the lead to 28-14. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This will be fielded at the 6. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Now this offense trotting back onto the field. Let's turn our attention here to Ronald Jones. Looking for a bounce back. Had the fumble a moment ago that went for a touchdown the other direction. See if he can get back in rhythm.
And you have to be very careful about having too quick of a hook with really good players. I did a guy's game in high school where he fumbled 3 times in the first quarter, finished with over 300 yards on the night, later ended up in the NFL. If you got a talented back, give it back to him.
And boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his. So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
Brought in over the middle by Graham. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. He'll get 17 on that one, and the Niners have a first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away. Throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
Luke Kuechly combines speed, intelligence, toughness, puts it all together. It makes plays like one we just saw there. He may not be a big-time blitzer, but boy, he knows how to pursue straight ahead and make plays in the run game.
2nd and 13. A battle for it here, and this will be caught. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 18.
the outlaw.
First and 10 at the 16-yard line.
Here we go, D. 6-6, pull it high. Snap.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. Trying to go back to Watkins. That'll bring up second down. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a second and 10. Now back to throw. And he is going to be taken down. And that should be the final play of this third quarter. Back now here in Santa Clara. It's 49er football here. They've got the lead as well as we get set to start the fourth and final quarter. Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. He completes it to Jones. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. An incredible play there. They do get big yardage, but they're still stopped a yard or two short, and it's fourth down. He's played a great game. It continues right there, even with this lead, confident to throw the pass and have the reception made.
There's no doubt who the leader of their team is there? There's no doubt who they want to ride all the way to the finish. The strategy would tell you run the football, run the clock down. Instead, they're letting him throw it because they feel that confident in what he's getting done.
They opt to go for it, and they get it. First and goal after a pickup of 5. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is first and goal. They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be second and goal. One back in the game. That's Jones, second and goal.
Check. Fresno.
He's going to get it running right. And he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown. Ronald Jones with touchdown number 27. That ties Priest Holmes for the third most in a single year. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. Looks good on the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. So that one a 13-play drive in total. And it's Ronald Jones that polishes it off with a touchdown run. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And here now come the Falcons. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Ball on the 30 as they come up second and 10. Now Wentz. They're connecting here with DJ Shark. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. 15 yards, first down Atlanta. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
Check in. Hey, let's go.
On first and 10, here's Wentz. He's going to float this. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Falcons. DJ Chark, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Falcons get a bit closer.
You've got to understand situational football because they're playing with the lead here late in the ball game. So the back defender has got to be as deep as the deepest receiver. Keep everything in front of you, rally up and make the play.
Yeah, you would think they had the 3-score lead. Now it's down to 2, but 3-score lead here late, that they wouldn't give up a big pass play like that, but they did. The lefty to Vecchio now to add the extra point. And the lead will be cut down to 14. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And the Falcons score to cap it off. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. And this offense trotting back onto the field. Let's turn our attention here to Ronald Jones. He's toppled the century mark already receiving the football, closing in on that on the ground, too. They've really had trouble handling him.
I think from what we've seen in this game, his success through the air has started to open things up for him on the ground, because now he's loosened up the defense, right? They've got to play just about every snap as if another receiver can get downfield on them, and he's been that receiver. Now they bring him back to the backfield. I think his yardage running the ball will increase as this one goes on.
Well, they might need to devote some extra attention to him, something just to stop the momentum he has. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. They'll get a dozen there, and it's a first down, 49ers. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. That looked like an example of what you said back in the first half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team, because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
Offensively, with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not...
And now a fumble. The ball's out. And the Falcons grab it. And they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line.
Partner, that one looked like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play.
After a year's play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
Change you, sir.
On first down, Jones. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. The pickup goes for 13 and sets him up first and goal.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
First seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd and goal now as they look to add a few more points here onto their total. On 2nd down, it's Jones. And across the goal line, into the end zone, touchdown 49ers. Ronald Jones with his 28th touchdown, drawing level with Sean Alexander for the 2nd most in a single year. And the Niners take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash this one in. Lutz with the extra point, and the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it's Ronald Jones that polishes it off with a touchdown run. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded at the 2. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
Let's go.
It's time for our player spotlight right now as we get a look at Carson Wentz. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. It's a gain of 16, first down Falcons. It's caught by OBJ. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A good pickup there, 21 yards. Throwing now is Wentz. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. It's the rookie from Washington, Taylor Rapp, who picked it. Well, it wasn't always pretty, but the interception there, that means that they should get out of here with a victory.
Yeah, this is not a game that they're going to preserve for posterity on defense. But they did finish it off, didn't they? They did make the winning play to close things out. They'll take that one and head to the locker room.
The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. They'll go again to Jones. And a short gain here as he gets it up only to about the 6. Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
Let's go now. 60 outlaw.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
Hey. Spy. Protein spell. Look at me. Go. Yo. Go. Yep.
Motion to backfield. Motion to the backfield.
Five.
On 3rd down, here's Jones. And he'll take this forward only up to about the 7. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down. Now the Niners going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. They'll set up to throw. This is Johnson. He's got it. He'll get a dozen there, and it's a first down, 49ers. Now it looks like he'll throw here. Throw left side complete. It's Grant. And he'll be out of bounds near the 30. In fact, right on the 30. The Niners have the first down on a gain of 11. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Tackle. Hey, alert 3. Switch.
X3. 218. Chop, please, rip.
They'll look to throw. Going for Hurd on the deep ball. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did.